Welcome to the Silent Thinking Podcast, a space to slow down, breathe, and reconnect. Today, I'm reading from Walking the Path, A Leader's Journey by Dr. Keith McNally, a reflective story about the inner journey of leadership. Just listen and let the stillness support you. The story continues. Episode 9. When John first considered making the trek into the mountains, he thought more of the end goal, the purpose, than he did about the details of the trip. He thought the details would work themselves out as he went. But after talking with Jose, he knew better. And now that he was faced with a small group of people that supported his vision and wanted to be part of the journey, he thought more about the team than he did the end results. The mission was still the mission. He was going to traverse the mountain and make it to the other side. Whatever was over there was a different adventure. He just wanted to know that there was something on the other side. Yes, in this respect, the mission was clear as day. But he knew the risks. At least he knew there would be risks. He was willing to take on those risks himself as an individual. Now that all changed. Two other people, one being a close friend, were willing to take on the risks as well. With this as a new reality, he felt an even stronger sense of responsibility. He also knew that he would need to become a leader. Liz and Penny said they trusted him to lead them across the mountain. But he was really ready for that responsibility? He may not have been, but he knew he had learned much from his father on how to lead people on the farm. He had a starting point from which to work with. Okay, John said, if we're going to do this, we need to work together. From this point forward, we are a team, and people on a team must work together in order to be successful. Liz and Penny were amazed at the change in John's demeanor. They both sat on the floor in the treehouse and listened intently to what John had to say. If it's just the three of us, John continued. 4, Penny added. Don't forget Benji. 4 of us, John added. We need to be clear on why we are about to do what we're going to do, and we need to be clear on how we're going to accomplish it. It felt good to have their attention, so John continued. I learned some important aspects of my dad's farm. For starters, knowing how everyone is experiencing their work is critical to success. My dad usually asks people from all of the sectors on the farm to be a part of a monthly meeting, just to see how things are going. He said that keeping in touch with the people that work for you is important. Farm work is laborious, and we need to keep people motivated, he would tell them. Plus, if something were to go wrong, I would not want to be the last person to know about it. That would be poor leadership. Liz and Penny smiled as he said these words about his father. John's dad was a smart man and well respected in the community. For a moment, they felt sad that John was going to walk away from it all. We only have the 4 of us, John said. So input from all of you, including Benji, will be important. If nothing else, maintaining clear expectations and open lines of communication will mean our survival. With that being said, we need to clearly define our roles before we start the climb up the mountain. What do you mean? Penny asked. Well, time of the ascent, John said. I don't know how far we have to travel, but if we're going to do this, we need to do it soon. The weather is going to turn colder in about a month. I don't want to be caught up in the mountains when it gets cold. That means we need to be quick about crossing the range. Do you even know where you're going? Liz asked. Not exactly, John continued. But the deer have started to move out. We should follow the deer path as much as we can. Surely they go somewhere where there is food when it gets cold in these parts. Wherever they go, that's where we're going. And what direction is that? Penny asked. They go west, John said. So we're going west too. We need to pack just enough food to get us going and keep us moving for a few weeks to start. We can hunt as we need to so that we can keep moving. That means our packs will be heavy. What about the nights? Penny asked. Are we going to walk throughout the nights too? I would say yes, if it were possible, John said. But I think if we make good time during the days, we can rest at night. That means setting up our tents and making a fire to stay warm. In case anyone comes looking for us on the first day or two, we may have to forego a fire at first. But more than likely, no one will come looking for us. What if someone does come looking for us? Liz asked. I've been leaving some traces of my stuff along a path going east of this spot, John said, pointing out the window of the treehouse. The trail goes on for about a mile in that direction. If they come looking for us, they may send some of the town's best hunters in that direction. Of course, their dogs will pick up our scent going in the other direction. I don't know. We're going to have to move quickly on the first day. Maybe try to go up in the mountains if we have to. Even the man and the dogs in town will not be too quick to follow us up into the mountain. What else? Penny asked. We need to stay motivated, John said at last. This is going to get tough, and a long walk can get boring as well. If the two of you have any second thoughts, have them now. Only come with me if you're 110% sure you're going to with me all the way. The girls agreed. With that, they talked about their individual roles in the team. They also decided when they should start. When John arrived home that night, he met his mom and dad in the kitchen. His father was sitting at the table looking over some papers while his mother was cleaning the dishes. His father paused a moment when John walked in. Where have you been? His father asked. John stuttered. Didn't Mom tell you? I was target shooting. This late? His mother chimed in. Well, no, John replied softly. Afterwards, I met Liz in the park. His mother's demeanor changed and she smiled. Such a nice girl, that Liz, his mother said. She's very pretty, you know. I know, Mom, John whined. You say that all the time. She is, his mother reminded him. Is there anything to eat? John said, changing the subject. There's some leftover steak on the counter, his mother said. Eat before it goes bad. John sat across from his father. He was deep in thought. His father stared intently at the papers on the table. What's all of that? John asked. His father replied. The Johnsons are selling their farm. Old man Johnson is getting too old and can't keep things working anymore. I'm going to buy it. John nodded, then went back to eating. You see, John, his father said, if he had a son, he wouldn't be selling his farm. See how important you are to this place? John nodded some more. When he finished eating, he washed his own dishes and went to his room. He pulled out the journal and began reading. Why am I writing all of this down? Why share this information at all? I have asked myself these very questions. I have thought about them, and I have asked them aloud, if only to myself. For the past years, I have journeyed to survive. My goal was to keep my kids safe from ridicule. I wanted to make sure my wife could manage without the burden of living with me. I ran from my problems, only to find myself in the process. In so doing, I found both my purpose and rebirthed my inner being. My mind, body, and spirit have been rejuvenated. I'm not the crippled man with a failing body as I was years ago. I'm different. I'm whole, and I'm not sure why. The first part of my journey is complete. I crossed the mountains, and I'm back again. I'm back in the valley. I'm with my wife and children, and the people in the valley have seen me and are surprised and shocked at what they see. The next day after work, John walked to Jose's house. He carried the journal with him, as he always did. He was now too afraid to leave the backpack out of eyesight. In it held the treasure of a lifetime. John would not risk losing it. Walking down the road, John was thinking about what Jose's great-grandfather wrote. He wanted to get Jose's perspective. Jose invited John in. They sat at the kitchen table, sipping tea and looking into the passages of the journal. When I started the journey, I felt tired. I felt beaten down. I felt as if I had little value. I was of no value to my children or my wife. That was exactly what I felt. Yet something inside of me told me that was a lie, but I did not know how to listen to that inner voice. It was as if that voice was muffled and struggling for breath. It couldn't breathe. Thus, its voice was weak. It was weak as I was weak. We were both tired. But as I said, the need to find life somewhere was pressing upon me. And that is where and why my journey began. Of the things I learned, the most important was to listen to my emotions. Some call this listening to your heart, whether you prefer heart or being true to your emotions. I think it's all the same. I think thoughts are important, as you need to assess, critique, and evaluate every situation in your life. But the heart guides your decision making, and I think this is what it's designed to do. Emotional insights both affirm and confirm your thoughts. So any serious decision must consider using both. The second most valuable lesson was to listen to my gut. The gut, that deep inner voice, validates or rejects your emotions. Although I still struggle with what some people in the valley call spirituality, I think the gut is the closest thing I know to the idea. It's still a part of you, but many people, including myself, often ignore that inner voice. I would rather listen to myself, that is, my own thoughts, before I would listen to the little voice that seems to have some deeper insight into the decisions you have to make. But all of this may sound and actually be confusing for anyone reading this. So I will try to provide some insight into what I'm talking about as I relive the journey up and over the mountain. The journey consisted of several key moments or events, such as the one with the owl that I mentioned earlier. So this is going to be a weird but hopefully interesting story. And if you're going to try to make the journey over the mountains yourself, then I welcome you to use this journal as a guide. Jose closed the book. You see, John, Jose said, do you understand now how important your feelings are? More and more, John said, although I still struggle with them. John then changed the subject and told him about the change in plans. Liz and her cousin Penny were now going to be joining him on his trek. The news made Jose happy. With that, he offered to give something else to John and his team. You will now need Bessie, Jose said. Your horse? John asked. Yes, Jose said. You will now need much more food, and Bessie has some good years left in her. She can help you carry your burden. She's yours as long as you promise to take good care of her. You can count on it, John said. With that, Jose and John continued to plan for the food and supplies they would need. Additionally, Jose told John how and when he can get Bessie to them without causing too much of stir in the neighborhood. The date was now set in stone. John and the girls would start the day after his 18th birthday. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If this brought you peace, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and share it with someone who might need a little stillness too. Until next time, keep listening inward.